With Calgary seeing a record number of sales last month, is this market slowing down? If you were looking for what's happening in the Calgary real estate market, you're in the right place. Now, I know that if you've been listening to any news, you've been hanging out at kids' activities, the real estate market is talked about a lot. And so we want to bring some clarity to you if you are thinking of buying or planning on selling in this market, or you're actively doing it right now. So let's get started. The Calgary market has really been changing over the last, let's call it 3 or 4 months. This last month is no different. And right now, this number has me flabbergasted. Like 276% of all the homes that were listed over the last 90 days sold. So more homes are still selling than what's coming on the market. That's what that means. And so the city of Calgary is currently sitting at 1.08 months of inventory. So what that means is everything actively listed right now, it would take about a month. Let's call it 4 weeks and 2 days, right? It would take about a month for everything to sell at the current pace of what everything is selling. So right now there's a total of about 3,400 homes on the market and 9,400 homes sold over the last 90 days. And so you can actually see this report. I'll put a link in the description, or you can go to chamberlaingroup.ca/Calgary real estate market with dashes in between, and you will find this report, and we update it monthly. And you can actually dig around and play in here because there's some pretty cool things. So it's very interactive. So let me show you. On here, this is average sold prices. So you can see, there's a lot more areas in the city that are hitting this 500, 600 average price, 700 versus, your 400 and 300. So it's kind of an interesting way to look at the city. If you're thinking of buying and you have a price range, this is a way that you can start looking around and say, okay, well, I can afford 600,000. What are the areas that allow, or that kind of the average prices, just so you can start searching, right? And when you start looking at average days on market, you can look at months of inventory. Months of inventory is a very important stat because it tells you kind of how quickly things are moving, right? This is a number that is really, really important. And so if you take a look at this, the city is green, right? If you're from Saskatchewan, this might make you happy. Go Rough Riders. But in here, look how much of the city is green, and anything that's it. That's from, let's do all of the rest, right? That's it. Anything that is not in a seller's market are those areas right now. And so, but the city is very, very green because again, we have 1.5 or 1.08 months of inventory, and that's insane. So let's look down here, zone statistics. So we're gonna look at detached, attached, and condo apartments, all right? So detached homes right here, this is the active number of sales based on the zones, areas of the city. And then you look at the solds, wham, right? That's a lot of sales that happened over the last 90 days. And so what this little graph here, it's kind of hard for you to see these numbers, but if you go to the website, you can see it. The highest, so the slowest moving quadrant for detached homes is the Northeast. But it only has 1.9 months of inventory. So everything's gonna sell within 1.9 months. The fastest moving is the Southeast. So the Southeast zone is the fastest moving months of inventory for the city at 0.5 months. And then you have North at 0.7, Northwest at 0.74, South is 0.68, so that's actually in second place, and the West at 0.87. Now, attached homes. These are your active listings right here. Sold listings, again, a lot of sales have happened here. The slowest moving for attached is 1.46 months in City Central, followed by the Northeast at 1.3. Fastest moving, Southeast. Southeast is on fire. Now, apartments. So apartments are showing, these are your active, and kind of underwhelming when you go between the two. So we have seen price increases for apartments in Calgary. We're seeing the change, but it's not as big of a change as what we've seen in the other types of properties. All right. So right here, 2.4 months for City Central, 2.3 months for the northwest part of Calgary, and the fastest, drum roll, are we surprised? No, it's still the southeast. Southeast. So that is your hottest quadrant of the city right now. And so if I go to this map here, southeast is the pink at the bottom, and then the green on the other side is, which looks like southwest, but that actually is what's considered south. Okay, so that whole bottom part of the city is kind of some of the fastest moving areas in the city right now. Now, I want to talk about the stats more. I want to dig into and show you some of the numbers and what's happening in the market in Calgary. All right. So the first thing is we have seen a 17% increase year over year on our benchmark selling price. So our benchmark selling price in Calgary right now is actually at $518,000. That's including everything. So it's going up. That number has gone up. And the thing that is in the news that you'll see is a record number of sales. There's 4,100 sales that happened in a single month, which is crazy in March. That's what we saw. And that was a 41% increase. So there's a lot of transactions happening. I was looking at our numbers for our team, and we are 220% up in the amount of conditional offers we have done year to date compared to last year. Like that is insane. All right. Now, the number of new listings that came on in the market in the city, there was 5,485 new listings that came on, which is fantastic. Huge increase, 23% more than what happened last year. But our inventory is still down because that number, the 4,107, is so high, it's keeping our inventory low. So we're still 19% less inventory than we were last year. So everything's getting eaten up, right? All the good products, all the good stuff, those homes are selling and they're getting taken off the market by buyers that are sitting and waiting, right? Detached houses. So 620 is the benchmark selling price now for detached houses, which is a 20% increase compared to last year. 2,280 sales happened last month alone out of the 4,100 that we saw. So just over half, or about half, of the properties that sold were detached houses, which is a 22% increase. Semi-detached, so your attached kind of semi-detached properties, they are 478 is the benchmark price, and 347 sales. So those again are all increases compared to last year. This is a big one. Townhouses. I mean, if you've been watching our videos, you know that we've talked about townhouses last year, and townhouses and condos are going to start finally seeing their day. And we did some actually news articles about that last year. And so 85% increase in the number of sales compared to last year, with prices going up about 16%. So 335. Calgary apartments. So here we go. There has been a lot more sales, 100% increase, right? 771 sales. That's a lot of condos that sold, but we only saw about a 6% growth in price. So again, when you have a lot of these buyers that are coming from out of town and they're looking at condos, there's a lot of sales happening. We just haven't seen the increase in prices and other types of products, right? So that is kind of what we are seeing in the market and the numbers. And so I would love to hear your comments. We put your comments below. Let's discuss this. What do you see? What is your fear? Are you local? Are you from out of town? What is it? Let's have conversations here. Now, there's a video I want to make sure that you're aware of and that you see is how to win in this crazy Calgary market. We shot this a bit ago, has some great ideas, some fantastic thoughts about it. So we'll put some links at the end, but you got to make sure you watch that video next. All right. So as promised, here are some advice for sellers and advice for buyers for you guys that are active in this market. The first one is for sellers. All right. The first thing here is don't skip the simple steps. Okay. Like, boom, please don't skip the simple steps. What I mean by that is just because homes are selling so quickly right now doesn't mean your home is going to sell quickly. Buyers still emotionally have to fall in love with your home. So don't skip the staging. Don't skip the cleaning. Don't skip all the simple things that add up to a lot of hours and energy, but they're simple stuff that you can just say, I don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. It's all going to be good. Don't skip those things. Please, you are going to lose out on the potential of a higher sale price if you do that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, how to price your home. So what is happening is over the last couple months, right, we would have homes that were listed here, and then they had all these offers and they sold here. And this is the range that you're looking at going, hey, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, that home sold over here for that much. Why can't we sell for that? All right. So then what you do is you take the old way of listing a house and you go, fantastic. I'm going to put my house right here, and it doesn't work. You can't sell, and you're pricing it wrong. Here is why. Because buyers are hunting differently in this market, okay? They are looking and they're building in a fighting buffer, if you want to call it, when multiple offers or if multiple offers happen. So what you need to do is you still need to price your home in this range and not up here, right? Because a buyer, there's a lot of properties that are going on the market that now look really overvalued instead of playing the game that we're all playing right now. So just be aware of this, and if you have an agent, bring this up with them, talk about this. What is that strategy? How do you do that? If you're working with us or want to work with us, again, book that 15-minute call. So what are they doing? These buyers are building that buffer in. That is, they're changing what they're worth or what their search criteria is. So they might know that they can afford 6, 7, 800, but they're only searching up to maybe 5, 6, or 7 because they want to have the buffer to be able to fight and win a house. Okay. Now that leads me to the buyers. You buyers are probably tired, right? Offer fatigue is a real thing. I mean, it might not be in a dictionary or an urban dictionary, but it's real. And you guys feel it and we feel it too. Last month alone, we went conditional on about 73 or 74 houses in 1 month. That was a record for us. That's not even counting the offers that we wrote that didn't get accepted. When you are looking to fight, be prepared. Come with a strategy, come with a plan, know where your strengths are, what you can do. And that's what I mean by be prepared and adjust. When you are prepared, you can fight better. So adjust your search criteria, like I just explained to the sellers. Adjust your search criteria. If you know you can afford 600 or you can afford 700, drop down maybe 10%, 15%, and be looking at houses valued at that price range instead of looking high. Okay, that is one thing you can do. The second thing is you might need to proactively adjust and look at a different product, because as interest rates increase, as prices increase, you might get priced out of the products, right? You might have to go from a house down to a townhouse or a smaller house down to a townhouse and just look at a different product. Be prepared for that. Plan for that. Think ahead. Have conversations with the agent that you're working with and think about those things, because this market, it's not going to go away. It's not just going to crash as we go into the summer. I truly believe we're going to keep this. There's momentum behind this, and it's greater than all of us combined. And so there's something happening out there. And the last one, please don't do this. Do not buy simply out of FOMO. You are coming to the table emotionally charged, fear of missing out, and you typically pay way more than you should have for that property. So don't do that, please. Think through things, plan. And I know every situation can be different, but just take a step back, take a pause, think through this. Have your agent who should be advising you advise you what the best thing to do is. Sometimes you do have to just fight, and you got to win, and you got to pay to get that property because of external situations or whatever's going on. Now, because you stuck around, I want to share that video with you. It's in the link in the description. Again, how can you win in this crazy Calgary real estate market? So go in the description, in the comments, you'll see the link. Go watch that video because we have some unique strategies as a seller and a buyer, how you can win in this market. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.